guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, you guys are going to see something very rare caught on an indoor security camera. It was activated by something completely unknown. The viewer, the homeowner that shared this footage with me, has never seen anything like this on their indoor security camera. I have two very rare videos that I want to share with you guys. I read a statistic here a while back that at any given time in today's world, there are approximately 45 billion cameras recording at any given time. I believe we live in a spiritual world, and I think sometimes that spirit world may reveal itself on these cameras that are constantly recording. So that could be what we're going to see in this video footage. All I know is the video footage is real, and it has no explanation. You're going to definitely want to stick around for this. But first, coming over here to the homepage of the website, today's feature photo is the same one I used yesterday. I wanted to leave it up one more day. That is one incredible looking sky photo by Kiso out of Decatur, Illinois. A very photogenic shelf cloud. Looking at the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center, a flurry of M-class solar flares in the last 24 hours. That energy is definitely Earth-directed, so we could see more auroras. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, absolutely loaded with sunspots in active regions. And yes, we did see a geomagnetic storm, a G1 geomagnetic storm that did produce auroras. They were spotted in Minnesota and other places as well. You can see over here at spaceweather.com some purple and green auroras spotted last night from Minnesota. Looking at the Schumann resonance, the last 72 hours has shown some activity exceeding the 40 megahertz. The bright red spikes you see are above 40 megahertz. So that's quite an increase from 7.5. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. Have a complete absence of data over here at Old Faithful, showing a little bit of earthquake activity around the caldera, but nothing major. Small earthquake activity and a little bit of magma intrusion. Looking at the power outage situation over here at poweroutage.us, 118,000 customers currently without power in Nebraska, 15,000 in Kansas due to inclement weather that went through the region last night. And you can see more severe storms forming in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and into central Kentucky right now as I do this video. The wildfire situation is about the same. The western United States is loaded with wildfires and wildfire smoke. Looking at the largest wildfire in Northern California, the Park wildfire is now up to 392,000 acres consumed, 18% containment. Right now as I do this video, that is a very large wildfire that's just north of Chico, California, and due west of Paradise, California. I want to take you guys now to a couple of videos that were sent in that do have explanations. At least I have an explanation for this video footage that was shared with me here in the last couple of days. This first video was sent in by Jimmy F. He was watching a newscast when an unusual object appeared behind this woman right there. This is a city sky cam, and you can see that activity right there behind the woman in the city right there. That's a sky cam that overlooks the city. And what I think's going on here, that is a bird flying through the field of view. The camera is configured to a low bit rate, which will sometimes cause drag, and it will make the bird look long and stretched out like that, when in all reality it's not. So I think that one does have an explanation, and I think this one has an explanation. This is another security camera on someone's home, Ian, in Iowa. Video from July 13th, when he noticed some sort of a black, what looked like a hollow form of energy. See that right there? Moving from right to left across the screen. Possibly an out-of-focus insect is what's going on here, because it comes up from the bottom right here. You're going to see it return and go from the bottom to the top. Check it out. Here it comes right there. So it returned again. First moving right to left and then from bottom to top. A lot of times what that can be, something too close to the camera can cause it to be out of focus and appear to be something else. So I think this one too may have a simple explanation. Even though it does look weird, I totally agree. Everything else in the field of view is in focus except for that object that appeared out of nowhere, and more than likely that was some sort of an insect. However, what we're going going to look at next are not insects, they're not birds. These things have no explanation. These were caught on indoor security cameras. The first video sent in by Lindsay Caruso from July 26th at 3:21 in the morning. Her security camera was activated by motion in this room right here. Let me give you a quick backstory on what's going on here. This is a Wisey camera that's positioned in the living room of her house, and you can see over here she has two cats. You can see one very visible cat right there. There's another cat right behind that one, and they're sharing a pillow on that chair. She said she has two cats, and they were not up moving around at the time this video occurred at 3:21 in the morning. So I'm going to let the video play. You guys are going to see something move across the room from right to left across the floor here. It looks like some sort of not necessarily a ball, but it looks like some form of energy, but it had enough horsepower to activate the camera. Here we go. Check this out. Super weird. Look at that. That's not a cat. That's not an insect. That's not a bird. We're talking about the interior room here of a very nice home. I zoom in on the cat. You can tell the cat woke up and kind of looked around like it maybe sensed something. I want to zoom in. Only thing I do is modify the lighting and color a little bit. What in the world was that thing? There's a close-up view in a different format. That was all I did, was change the format. I was looking for possible features, but as you can see, there are none. How weird is that? Something almost hovering at times across the living room floor, and then once it got over there by the cats, it disappeared. But you can see it had enough horsepower to activate the camera. That green square detects movement. I actually have a Wisey camera, and that's exactly how they work. Any type of movement goes in or near that green square or rectangle. Video number 2, Seven Hills, Ohio. Allison sent this video in. This, too, was in the middle of the night. This appeared on an indoor security camera in a living room of a home out of Seven Hills, Ohio. Check this out. Something cruising around the room. I believe this was also in the middle of the night, and it makes no sense. It clearly wasn't a cat or a dog. It wasn't a bird. This thing looked like some sort of a oval orb just kind of cruising around the room. I mean, how do you explain something like this, you know? I mean, it's not something you see every day. It looks like it's cruising around the room under some sort of intelligent control. Wow, I mean, this one was really, really weird, and it hung around the room for, I believe, over a minute and a half or something like that, just kind of cruising around, and there was nobody in the room. There, it raised up a little bit, goes over by the either a sofa, love seat, maybe that's a chair. I mean, wow, how do you explain something like that? You can't. I mean, it's just beyond explaining. You can't dismiss that as a bird. You can't dismiss that as a pet. I mean, that looks like a ball of energy hovering around the room under its own power. It's not being influenced by wind. Right there, it stops and goes backwards. If there were a ceiling fan or something like that on in this room, it would be clearly obvious. This thing would have been moving across the room very, very quickly and not doing this backing up and casting reflections on the tabletop. You can see a reflection right over here. See the reflection right there? And you can see the reflection moving across. That tells you this thing has mass, whatever it may have been. Here it is in fast forward in a slightly different format. Notice the reflection on the furniture. Appears to be some sort of leather furniture. Once again, this was in the middle of the night. Everybody was asleep. Nothing going on. How about that? That is just so bizarre. See the reflection again? So that tells you there was something there. And at least temporarily, it was in physical form. You can see some sort of a reflection on the table, the arm of the couch. Here it is in another format. I tried different formats to maybe pull forward something other than a glowing orb or an oval, however you want to describe it. Right there, it seemed like it stopped for a second above the arm of the chair. And then it moves around. Like I said, it appeared to be under some sort of intelligent control. Just kind of checking things out, you know. Again, something like this, it really has no explanation. Stops right there. Didn't appear to be making any sound. Have no idea where it originated from. No idea where it went. it just showed up on their indoor security camera. I mean, wow, it's not a reflection from a TV because there is no TV in the room. There's no lights on in the room. And you've got this thing just kind of casually cruising around the room, possibly what, 2, maybe 3 feet off the floor, and it seems to maintain that same position. It maybe moves up and down a little bit, but not too much. Definitely moving around side to side, and it's like checking things out in the room. Very, very interesting video footage. And again, this is real video footage sent in by a real person that didn't encounter this personally, but it showed up on their indoor security camera. Here it is in a different format, and you can really see the reflectivity off of the couch and the table once it goes back above the table over there. And all I did was adjust the lighting and color just a little bit. I was trying to pull forward any possible features on this thing, and the only thing I could pull forward was an oval ball of what looked like energy moving around this room. Truly incredible. Right there it stopped. That wasn't me. It stopped on its own. Went down very briefly, went back up, goes over almost out of the field of view. It's like it's kind of checking things out. That was the brightest format right there. I didn't have to do too much to it to get it brighter, but here it comes back into the field of view. And again, you don't see any type of electronics on in this room. It was in the middle of the night. Nobody was even up. But this room looks like more of a sitting room. There was nothing going on, no lights on, no TVs. Everybody was in bed, fast asleep. Unbeknownst to them, this, whatever it may have been, was cruising around the house, checking things out. How about that? So some sort of mysterious form of energy in Ohio, and then you've got this mysterious form of energy right here, and I'm calling it energy because I don't know what else to call it. Right there, it just kind of zipped across the room. That video was sent in by Lindsay Caruso. Right there, it zipped across the room at a fairly high rate of speed, and it looks like the cat right there raised his head and looked up like maybe it sensed that energy right there that went across the room very, very quickly. Super bizarre video footage. Thanks for sharing. Really appreciate that. If you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports@MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.